Hello everybody and welcome back to the Top Flight Computers YouTube and Facebook channels, I guess, page.
Yeah, sure.
Facebook page, YouTube, yeah, the stream. We are building a system that has been long awaited using some basically unobtainium components and things. Andrew has the rest over there and he's going to walk you through what this system is.
Yep, so tonight we're building the Battle Chassis, which is a workstation designed for 4K development in both Unity and Unreal Engine. And as you're about to see, we have some truly unreal hardware to go in here. Ooh, this customer needed a dedicated long-term workstation for his professional workload. So a long-term upgrade path was very important. It's also designed to work very smoothly with 4K content and lots of USB devices, because who doesn't like USB? So tonight we are designed around the ever-rare Ryzen 9 5900X, a 12-core, 24-thread part from AMD on their newest Zen 3 architecture for that single thread of performance. It'll be cooled by Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 4, although in the studio right now it may not even need a cooler. It's a little chilly in here. Those will both be installed in a Gigabyte X570 AORUS Ultra, which as you will see later has all that USB that you could ever desire. We'll be installing 32 gigabytes of DDR4 3200 GSkill Ripjaws 5 series. Is it Ripjaws V or Ripjaws? I think it's
Ripjaws V.
V, really?
Yes, it is V.
Okay, I stand corrected. Ripjaws V. You see how it's confusing.
Yeah, I know it is.
We have two NVMe SSDs by HP, a 512 gig and a 2 terabyte, both of which will be installed in that beautiful motherboard. And of course, we have our EVGA RTX 3090 for the Win 3 Ultra Gaming.
What a mouthful.
Yeah, you'll see later. This is a heck of a video card. This is one of the priciest and most powerful video cards on the market right now.
And arguably best looking, even though that's very subjective.
Very arguably. Very
arguably.
All that will be powered by this EVGA B5 850 watt power supply and installed in a Corsair 4000D Airflow black case with some Fantex fans for cooling stuff. So yeah, we will go ahead and get started on this sucker.
Before we jump on in, we now have a Chris cam, which will be, if Chris puts it on my camera, it should be up here, I think. Yeah, it should be up here. Hey. Am I pointing to it?
Yeah, we can't
Probably.
see.
We can't see it. So, anyway, but we have a Chris cam now, so he'll be popping in and out randomly.
It looks like he's like coming out of the wall.
Yeah, it's fine. We couldn't put a border around it in time, and I couldn't find one, so that's what we got. If you guys have any comments, questions, want to say hi, anything to that effect, go ahead and type in whatever chat that you are in. Chris, like we just mentioned, he is behind the camera, for say. He's actually behind all the monitors and things, and he is going to be monitoring both chats, YouTube and Facebook, whatever viewing platform that you are on. We have YouTube pulled up here, so if you want to communicate directly with us, you can do it directly through YouTube, or it'll be relayed through Chris when he feels like it.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, if you have any jokes or funny anecdotes, please feel free to share those too. Ow. I just stabbed myself. Alright. I'm excited to open this crap.
Right? Is that the first thing? Oh, I thought that was the first thing you opened, just
no,
like YOLO.
No, I'm containing myself. So, in case anyone hasn't been following graphics cards as closely as some of us. Basically since, let's see, the 3080 and 3090 from NVIDIA launched in September of last year. Since then, there has not been a period of, I would say it's fair to say they have not at any time been in stock for 5 minutes or longer.
Yep, I believe that's fair. I
would
it was like 2 a.m., but
I could go even lower. I would say like 1 to 2 minutes, but just be conservative here. Basically, COVID has raised the demand, and they've been having some supply issues as well as supply chain issues. It's just been a whole thing. We've been extremely fortunate to get just a few of these in-demand products like these 3080, 3090s, and the AMD chips. But
I will say the one thing that frustrates me about this board is they put little clear peely-doos underneath other clear peely-doos, and I was like,
well, you gotta make sure it's protected.
It's just like, why?
Does that board have 2 8-pins?
This board has a 8 and a 4.
8 and a 4. 10-4 Ghost Rider.
Oh, nope, look, this one does too. There's 2 peely-doos under 2 separate peely-doos. It's just annoying, it's redundant.
Oh, please.
Because you don't think to look there. Like, we know that they're there, but... do we know that they're there? I don't even know what they are.
We got Gary in the YouTube chat. How's it going, Gary?
That's customer.
Yeah, I figured.
I do not have a Kniff.
I have one. Would you like it?
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Get some power. I actually think this card is going to want 3 8-pins. So
I believe you are correct. I'm pretty certain it's 3 8-pins right off the bat.
pretty much everything EVGA gives us will be installed.
And that one does not have the dumb 12-pin connector like I have on mine.
Yeah.
I have a 3060 Ti, and that one has the dumb 12-pin, and it's ugly. And I wish there was a better way around it. Or, yeah. All of that box for this very tiny little wafer.
So, bit of trivia here. With these 3000 series cards, it's recommended that use 1-to-1 VGA power cables, and not the ones that go, let me see if I can find one. Like this, that go a single 8-pin in your power supply, and the dual 8-pins for your graphics cards. Because it can actually overcurrent the cable, I believe, and cause some
It overcurrents the rail.
Yeah.
Can you move the power supply box? You're kind of blocking everything.
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it
I'm
actually
just-
it overpowers the rail, pulls too much current off that one rail.
Basically bad things.
Fire.
We'll be
potentially.
using, this power supply comes with 2 single 8-pin to 8-pins, and then for the third I will have to use one of those branched ones, but it shouldn't be an issue because we're only plugging one of them in. So.
And mind you, that's in a very extreme case of your, overclocking these and basically Jay's 2 cents trying to liquid nitrogen these things into oblivion.
Yeah. Make sure I get the right one. Oh, no, I did not. Let's try to check. Yeah, but still better safe than sorry, especially for anything
Absolutely.
deemed as a workstation or anything important. There we go. Bam.
Slot in the RAM. The processor's already installed. Such an easy kind of process. The only now fun thing is doing M.2s.
M.2.
Which I will say, one interesting thing about this board that I'm not a huge fan of is the fact that they don't pre-install the M.2 standoffs.
I'm fine with that.
Really?
Yeah. Are they...
No, they're actually individually bagged. You have to, and I get, you get to choose the sizes of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's different sized M.2s. Because M.2 is just a, we've kind of gotten lazy. We call them M.2s. Nice.
Mounting screws down.
But an M.2 is actually just a connector to the board.
Yep. So M.2 is the interface.
Yep.
And NVMe is the protocol, pretty much.
Yep.
So you can actually have SATA M.2 drives that look exactly like these NVMe ones, but they use SATA instead of a direct PCI Express link, and they are much slower.
Yep. And one easy way to tell, and Andrew, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but usually it has a secondary little hole, right? On the other side.
A second notch.
A second notch. Yep.
So they'll fit. They'll both fit in an NVMe slot, but yeah, if it only has one notch, then you're good to go with super fast storage. But yeah, there's pretty much no reason I can find to use SATA M.2 drives unless the system does not support NVMe, which became a thing. Yeah. I would say it got to mainstream platforms 4, maybe 5 years ago.
Yep. And I mean, realistically, I've used SATA M.2s every once in a while in the sense of, space. If I'm doing a mini ITX and I really don't want to deal with cables, I just won't.
Yeah. The costs between NVMe and SATA ones are so close nowadays, though.
Yeah.
That anything you're building, just get NVMe. Why not? As long as you have PCI Express links for it. But you probably do.
Yep. And these are the Gen 3 M.2s, so they do not need active cooling. Well, passive cooling, I guess, is technically.
Don't passive.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The Gen 4s have really big heat sinks, but those are still passive.
Yeah, they're still passive.
They don't heat up as much.
You can run a Gen 3 drive there.
Alright, 2 people are talking. Hold on. You can't do that. You can't be doing that. What are you saying, Chris?
Unless you get the big expander card with multiple M2s on it.
Yeah, that's fair. M2s are also, They run better when cold.
To a point.
To a point, yeah. Because I had I built a very tiny little mini ITX system, which actually was on here. It was called the Spire. It was a mini ITX board, and the M.2 was directly above the heatsink for the chipset, which is in this one it actually has a fan cooling it. But on that one it didn't, and the M.2 overheated and almost instant crashed my system like every single time because of it.
Another fun fact, all X570 boards need active cooling on the chipset. Even mini ITX ones will have low fan on there. Because the X570 chipset draws too much power and outputs too much heat to run passive. You don't have a fan on there.
Indeed. And one also interesting fact as well of, if you notice, I installed the hard drives,
Hard drives?
and they accomplish the same task. The M.2 drives, one in the top slot up here and one in the middle slot here. The top one I did, which was our 512, that's going to be our boot drive. That is actually linked directly to our CPU in the kind of logical process, I guess.
Electrically, really.
Yeah, and this one down here actually has to go through the chipset first, which is our 2 terabyte, and then to our CPU.
Actually, the Ultra can actually have a total of 3, and the one in the middle is also still on CPU.
Oh, is it?
The bottom is the one on chipset.
Yeah. Interesting.
It varies board to board.
I was wrong. The middle one is actually on the CPU. And basically what that means is a maybe 0.001%.
Yeah, basically
increase or
no,
decrease.
basically no real difference. Maybe
I prefer it for stability, having
Yeah.
the Windows drive or the boot drive closest to the CPU.
Yeah.
Because that helps. All right, you want to unbox that? I will grab the
I'll
case.
very slowly and gratuitously unbox
Oh,
this.
actually, hold on. I'm going to install the
Yeah, install some cooler stuff first.
cooler stuff.
And make sure you plug in these CPU powers before you put the tower on there. Or you're gonna have a bad night.
Yep.
Especially with the Pro.
Oh, yeah.
The last build of the month is going to have a total of 3 M2s on it.
Nice.
It's not nice.
RAID 0.
So it's going to be between 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte, and we're putting on a 4 terabyte.
Chris never lets us RAID 0.
You
Never.
shouldn't RAID 0.
Hey!
RAID 0, what Andrew is referring to, is when you take 2 or more hard drives and you basically put them together in a configuration that Windows, I guess you can do it in either Windows or the BIOS, but basically it links both of them and then more or less doubles the speed.
Yeah,
Give or
it stripes the data, so okay, it might write. It does it in clusters. I think they're usually 4K. So it'll write a little bit of data to drive 0, and while it's doing that, it'll write a little bit to drive 1. So it kind of theoretically it doubles the speed. In practice, not so much. But you get double the capacity and double the speed. But if one drive fails, all your data's gone.
Wah, wah.
So that's the risk of RAID 0.
And there's a bunch of other different raids which we're not going to go into because
Yeah, three 8 pins.
yeah. I was surprised, honestly, the Galax 3090 only had 3. I was expecting 4. I was full on expecting 4 8
Yeah,
pins.
but an 8 pin's good for like
I know.
200 watts.
I know.
Like, and they would also run into the issue of no one's power supply unless they go buy like a 1600 watt.
True.
Would have
Fun fact, so the power supplies...
fun facts.
Fun facts? Lots of fun facts. Running 2 3090s is almost impossible in the US. I mean, it is possible,
No,
but...
yeah.
Basically, you're going to have to use probably, what, a 1600 watt power supply? Give or take?
No, they... So, while the card is under load, it draws 350 watts. But it spikes up more than that pretty often. So if you cut it too close, then the whole system can shut down.
And the average home circuit, which is why your circuit breakers will pop, only can support 1800 watts. I believe it's
15 times 120.
I don't know what... Chris, what's 15 times 120?
I don't know.
1800?
12,
No.
15. Yeah, I think it's 18. It's pretty close
something
to
like that. Anyway. But yeah, and then you have to remember power supplies operate at a certain efficiency level. So I believe a platinum power supply would probably be what, like
94%?
90, yeah,
94, 90, I was gonna say 95, but 94.
I believe it is.
So,
90,
you know,
actually.
do some math in there. You can only get so high. Basically, you'll never, unless something drastic changes, you'll never really see a 2,000 watt power supply.
Not in the US.
Unless-
in China there is.
Unless it's designed for like a 220 volt circuit or with a 30 amp breaker.
Yep. In China they actually do because they have a different power standard
Yes.
than in the US.
Well, pretty much the rest of the world does
True.
run a 220 volt. But, which you can get installed in the US. You just combine, you run basically instead of one side of the breaker, you run over both sides, but it's neither here nor there.
Did you run both 8 pins up to the CPU?
I believe I did, yeah. Are they both there?
I think one of them just like may have
Oh,
fallen
one
down.
fell out.
Ah. There it is. I was like, wait a second.
So
I'm gonna
this
plug
is,
these in before I screw the motherboard in.
I've got a 3090 out now, and it has, so that moment when your graphics card has a 4-pin fan header on it,
Does
because
it actually?
yeah, because you might need to put another cooling fan pointed at it if you're extreme overclocking or something. Good times. And it's also got its own RGB controller, 5-volt RGB header right there. If you want accent RGB for your GPU, and then
Already
EVGA's.
has accent RGB.
Well, no, it already has its own RGB built in, and then you can add your own strip to access it, and the GPU would be able to control that as well through their software. But yeah, this is a very premium card right here. Trying to knock it over. You can see the copper through the front there. It's got a lot of copper, a lot of big, look like 10mm heat pipes to me.
Tech specs with Andrew.
Yeah. Very nice.
And for me, I'm just now trying to plug in our CPU power before we screw down the motherboard. Because,
Yeah, think how much harder it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, another fun fact. You can see up here, if I take this little rubber cover off. Well, what's that? An NVLink connector, because the 3090 is the only cards in the RTX 3000 series that support NVLink. I had to double check myself for a second there.
Yeah, I was like, that's
I
going.
was like 5,000? No, not yet. I got confused.
That was like a five frames per second thought there, like a
Yeah.
video game. I like to.
But anyway, if you get a 3080, you won't have those fingers because product segmentation.
And can confirm my 3060 Ti does not have
Yeah.
those fingers.
Which you can run SLI over this, although SLI is basically dead and there's no real reason to.
Can you toss me the screws that you tenderized on the floor?
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. One last thing to note about the size of the card here is that it's not abnormally long, but it is a lot taller than
Is
the
it a
normal
3-slot?
card. Yeah, it is 3-slot. Which the bracket's only 2 slots, but the cooler says 3. But it's actually a lot taller. So if you have a case with pretty tight spacing between the side panel and the GPU, you might run into some issues there. So be careful. Do your research.
Be careful. Yeah, really.
Or you can just run your case without a side panel forever, I guess. I've done worse.
I know you have.
You don't even know what I've done. You know some, you don't know everything.
I'm imagining.
I mean, I have my home theater PC right now. It just has a radiator kind of floating in the case, not plugged in, not screwed into anything.
not plugged in.
It's plugged in. It's not,
I just leave the radiator in there, you know, for moral support.
not screwed into the case at all. But,
Well, you know, wireless water cooling.
yeah,
Tubeless water cooling.
tubeless. What if we had water cooling?
I really want to see. So
Hot water.
EK Water Blocks released the new 3090 and 3080 like water blocks and things. They're still up for pre-order for like May. But I don't know how they connect and how they look when they're actually on the card because they don't have any photos of that.
Well, it's not like you're gonna get a card anyway.
No, I want to see how it looks, but they just don't have any photo. They just have the block and it looks nice, but it's like, how does it connect? Because what's weird about these, and Andrew can kind of point it out, the actual PCB is not the size of the card.
Yeah, the PCB on 3000 series is actually a lot shorter than previous gens, or you would imagine. So, right about here is where the PCB cuts off. So this is just cooler space. There's just plastic and metal in there.
And on the Founders Edition, it's actually like got a triangle.
Actually, no, I take that back. This
It's
PCB
triangular.
does extend, but there's some holes cut in it for ventilation. So it extends all the way to the end, but there's holes cut in it. On the Founders ones, they're a lot shorter.
So we now got the motherboard installed.
Nice.
I'm still in frame, yes. All right, now I'm gonna start plugging things in.
I thought you already plugged stuff. Oh, you only plugged in CPU.
I only plugged in CPU.
Yeah. So what else can Andrew talk about?
What else can?
I don't know. Nothing's really happening in the hardware world, at least that I've seen. I mean, there's
like nothing.
there's stuff, but it's like not that interesting. Like Intel's like, oh, Rocket Lake's coming. It's gonna be faster than last gen. It's like, okay.
It really isn't that hard.
Yeah. I don't think AMD's quaking at the boots yet. Especially since they can't keep any cards on the shelf.
True.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah,
Oh,
Intel's the only one that can actually keep chips on the.
Yeah, but part of that's due to less demand for Intel chips, but a lot of it is also Intel owns their own fabs and they can basically operate them making only Intel products, of course. So they have basically more production than AMD.
I actually saw literally Newegg today. I got an email of like, "Hey, the 10700 whatever is on sale for like $329."
They've been
I'm
on
just
sale.
like,
They've been on sale for that for like 3 months.
I know.
But,
They literally are putting them on sale when AMD can't even keep things on the shelf.
yeah, it's not really a sale. They're just like having it priced what it should be, but they're just kind of making it act like a sale because MSRP is higher. But that's not neither here nor there. Another note on this card, we have a dual BIOS, normal and OC right here. So if you want to get into extreme overclock, you switch it in the OC mode. That probably raises the power and voltage targets and lets you really.
I will say one of my favorite features are literally the Galax cards in the sense of they just have a button that literally turns the fans to 100% and then takes the power limit and just literally deletes it.
Yeah.
Like. If that's not one of like the greatest overclocking features ever.
I think any enthusiast card should have dual BIOS, honestly, because it's very cheap for them to implement. Like BIOS chips are basically free, so they should. I think more cards should have that, but I think a lot of times it's used as a distinguishing feature for very high-end stuff, like for the Win 3s, Kingpins, Galax, Hall of Fame, stuff like that. So,
Galax, if for those of you that do not know, is another graphics card manufacturer.
Yeah.
And they typically produce there used to be, back in the 9 series and before, 900.
I think I said back in the 90s.
Back in the
whoa.
90s. No, back in the 9 series, so the 970s, 980, 980 Ti's and that kind of thing. They used to be the world overclocking sponsor. So they would produce a small batch of what were called limited edition Hall of Fame cards.
Yep.
And those would be the like best overclocking cards out there.
I thought they made some last gen too.
They did. They made yeah. Well, what I was saying is that was the only way you could get a Galax card.
Now they're more publicly
so
available.
now it's they've kind of realized that hey, people want our stuff, but their graphic designers and their designers don't know what they're doing. They are the ugliest cards.
Oh.
If you like look up the Galax 3090 Hall of Fame edition, it has a screen on it that's about that big with a giant crown on it.
I don't mind the screen, but what happened between like the past 2 generations where the cards all got ugly? I don't.
The Founders Edition though are really.
The Founders Edition is mint, but like all the 3000 series board partner cards are just not attractive.
I mean, they're
There's
safe.
a few.
They're the
like,
safe bet. There's nothing crazy about them. They just, leave the performance on the table and say, here you go.
Oh, man.
Because that's what this card does, is basically like, here's the performance.
Have fun.
Yep, basically. I mean, obviously, you're buying a graphics card to perform a task. Graphics.
I'm buying it to perform a task and look.
Look good. Then get a water block and be done with it.
That's a lot of effort. Water cooling. True. I don't want to do it again. Not yet.
It's so okay. So it's actually the heater doesn't work in here. So it's about 50 degrees.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how are your fingers working over there?
And building a computer is not too challenging, but there's a lot of small little sharp plastic bits that when it's cold they hurt. Like my fingers are literally like raw now just from trying to put in that stupid 8-pin in the top.
You need some nimble little fingers sometimes too, but like the little front panel headers.
Honestly, we need like those gloves that are, like super thin.
It's like the black ones you're talking about, or like
I don't even know.
Are they like latexy or?
No, they're not. Hold on, let me not plug.
Also keep fingerprints off stuff
into the pump header.
Yes, please.
Again.
Yes, please. Yeah, Chris has got his hands in his coat. That's not fair.
Chris, yeah.
I've got him caught on the Chris cam.
I'm good.
We're gonna get the company to buy some hot hands. There we go. Hey, there we go. That's how we can solve this. We don't need heat.
We don't
Some
need heat.
hot hands.
Just buy a little personal heater. Will come in whenever the first person that gets here. Then just turns on the little heater in the corner.
And the corner wouldn't do anything.
No, I'm saying like over here. Because Chris has the computer. He can just run like Prime 95. And
Still
then
really
he'll be
wouldn't
fine.
do much. This is a pretty big office room we're in, so
True.
yeah.
Obviously,
I think we should invest in hot hands. And plus, you get to shake them this one. It's like a little maraca.
Not hashtag not sponsored, but can be.
Yeah.
We'll bring that one back.
Get in touch with the hot hands CEO. I bet his hands are always toasty.
I bet you're right.
Ever thought about that? Like, what if you're the CEO of like a certain company, like, and you just get like infinite of their product?
I don't know, Chris. How's this feel? Do you just get infinite of the...
I'm talking about people that you know what I mean. People who first party manufacture stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I
like
imagine they would.
or even like if if you're like Dave, is Dave the owners of Wendy's still alive? He's Dave whatever. I think he died. Anyway, like
You think he gets free Wendy's? Of course
yes. I think Wendy works for them. I'm pretty sure his daughter. But like if you're the CEO of like Nathan's Hot Dogs, I'm sure you get sick of hot dogs.
I'm sure you.
But you would get unlimited
I
hot
don't
dogs.
want any, but
Yeah. What would be a good one? Or something really obscure, like, man, you need some outdoor floodlight light bulbs. I got you. I'm just rambling now. We'll wait for Connor to cable manage.
yeah, just cable managing at this point.
So I will note we are now at 34 minutes.
Nice.
Going fast.
Speedrun.
Speed run.
Parkour.
Snips.
So Valentine's Day is this Sunday, and what better way to surprise your loved one than with a custom-made PC by toplightpc.com. That's my sales pitch. But yeah, Valentine's Day. Hopefully you have, well, I'm not gonna say hopefully you have plans. Hopefully you have a good Valentine's Day.
There you go.
If you want to celebrate the holiday, if you have someone to celebrate with, I'm not bitter. So this is the Battle Chassis. It's a workstation designed for 4K development in Unity and Unreal Engine. Are you laughing?
Yes, because you knew you screwed up on that one, so you tried to just YOLO into the
No, I knew what I said. This is designed to be a long-term workstation with good upgrade path, handle lots of 4K content and lots of USB devices. We're using that Ryzen 9 5900X at 12-core 24-thread with really good single-threaded and multi-thread performance, and this RTX 3090 from EVGA for the Win 3 Ultra. And in a few minutes here, we'll be slapping that bad boy in there and powering it up, and it's gonna turn on and post, and we'll be all happy.
Foreshadow or for
foreshadowing. Yeah, pretty much. Is foreshadowing only if it's negative? No, I don't think so.
No, it can be positive.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Otherwise,
hey,
it's
we
like,
can make the rules. We're, we're running the stream.
yeah, I'm running this show. Got lots of cables, lots of VGA cables over there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Got more than usual.
No kidding.
I'll have to tie back that second connector on that one, too. On one. Or use the Velcro.
Cool. Almost done. I just got one more zip tie.
I've got like,
Yeah, I see it.
did you just put a computer for Valentine's Day? You're not married yet.
Yeah, you're correct. I'm not married yet. Any females aged 22 to 27?
That drive or like a Tesla?
I have a good paying job. I get benefits for my spouse and dependents. Located in the Raleigh to Cary, North Carolina area. Hit me up. Yeah. I will say the day after Valentine's, though, go into Walgreens and get all that heavily discounted candy.
Well, my girlfriend, she actually works on Valentine's Day, so that's our plan. Is we're just gonna go when she has her day off, and then just YOLO off to like Target.
There you go.
And then get a bunch of candy and stuff.
I hope people aren't gonna pack restaurants. I think North Carolina is still operating at stage 2.
Yeah, we're still at stage 2.
So that's what, 50% capacity?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Luckily, they got rid of the rule of only outdoor seating because that was rough because it's cold.
People were just putting up tents that basically made it outdoor or indoor. But yeah, it is very cold, as I can attest to.
Yeah, I mean, we did just have snow a few days ago.
The snow day was warmer than this. Today
was.
was bitter cold. It was like 28 real feel.
And we now have cable management.
Hopefully Chris catches it.
Hopefully, Chris
I
catches
think he
it.
got you.
That's nice.
Actually, hold on.
That's
Let me
a
throw in the CPU cooler that I always forget every single time.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row.
I know, that is 2 in a row.
Wait,
But hey, we got a new Be Quiet screwdriver.
Connor's acting like he had a busy week or something.
I know. You know, it's like I have another job somewhere.
Imagine.
Imagine.
What, they make you work there too?
Yeah.
You can't just leave for like 3 hours.
Shockingly, no.
I mean, you could.
I mean, yeah, you could.
It just
probably wouldn't have a job afterwards.
Might be your last week, yeah.
Oh, this is the double fan.
Yeah, no, I think I will hit up Trader Joe's probably tomorrow and get some nice food to cook for this weekend. But
Trader Joe's. Yesterday I made lobster and filet mignon for the first time.
Ooh.
I made lobster for the first time.
He got paid yesterday.
What?
I don't know. Filet mignon's expensive, so is lobster.
It's fair. We actually went a few
But I know
weeks
you
ago
didn't
to
get
pick
paid
it up.
yesterday. Because I would have too. I think I'll get my last paycheck from that job next week. Anyway. How'd you cook the filet? Was it like medium?
Reagan
rare.
likes it medium. Reagan likes it rare. I like it medium rare.
Yeah,
Like rare is a little. I don't know.
If I'm cooking it, I'll go medium rare. If it's a restaurant, I don't necessarily always trust them to like really cook it well, but still keep it kind of rare. I don't like mine all that rare, honestly, compared to others. My grandfather is literally one of those people who he wants it like blue and still mooing. Like put it on the grill, sear both sides, and take it off. Well, I guess he's still alive. Kind of detaching our massive Dark Rock Pro 4 cooler now. So
With
dual,
the little secret
dual
tunnels.
towers. Yep, secret
Secret
tunnel. How many notes can you go before the EVGA kicks in?
I don't know.
I need to rewatch.
Chris, let's find out now.
Let's not.
I want to rewatch that series again. It's a good series.
We actually have all of it, so if you want to, let me know.
I mean, I could have it very quickly too
Yeah.
on my totally legit Plex server.
Oh yeah, very similar on our totally legit Plex server as well.
I should just get a stream key of yours. How's your internet?
200.
What about up? Because you'd be uploading to me.
It's like 20. That's why it's not phenomenal.
So no 4K.
I don't even think that series is in 4K.
No. Plex 4K on Plex does not work all that well. It's kind of, you need a heavy transcoder too. So like this RTX 3090. It's not really a sales pitch because you can't really buy it even if you wanted to. Have I said how incredibly
you can
hard?
buy it just for
We're talking
way
within.
too much money.
I'm talking within 50% of MSRP. Like, yeah. Anyway.
Just screwing this down.
I'm so glad
Equal
that we had
pressure.
the music
Yeah, me too.
because it got quiet.
Well,
What? I can't hear you over the loud.
I was also say we should get Jeopardy music track, but then you can play it without us knowing, so it'd be funnier.
That would be.
I see a planet.
Already reintroduced the build. You guys seen any good movies recently?
No.
I was talking to chat.
No.
don't care about
No.
That is dead.
That is dead.
Gary's
Rip.
probably still here.
Rip chat.
Yay!
Alright, there we go.
No.
Alright, last fan.
Oh, I did want to see. I still haven't seen Wonder Woman 1984. I want.
Eh,
It's not good.
It's not very good.
Well, I mean, like, what else am I gonna do?
You could binge watch all of Star Trek.
No, I'm good.
Oh, I thought that was was that on Netflix now?
What?
Ooh!
I
You know what they just added to Netflix?
He's here.
They just added all of iCarly to Netflix.
Did they really?
Yes. Maybe I'll watch that this weekend.
Oh gosh.
I watched the first Kingsman movie the other night. Have you seen those?
Yeah,
That's a good
I
movie.
actually enjoyed
I watched Secret Service. I have not seen Golden Circle yet. Do not spoil it at all. I'm about to watch
I have
it.
not
Do
either.
not- I'm going to. I like the first one. Like I like that kind of movie.
Number 2 is better.
Really? Okay. I'm excited.
It's long.
The Secret Service, the first one.
Yeah, the first one was 2 hours.
I think the second one is longer.
Perfect. I like a long movie. Secret Service is the first one.
Yeah. That was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I like that kind of movie.
I love
Also,
Samuel L. Jackson's character. It's glorious.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings on that character.
I'm gonna be quiet.
Hey, we didn't. There's no spoilers.
That was basically a spoiler now, because now I feel like he's not dead. So Chris ruining things for me as usual.
Chris is ruining things. So there we go. All right, now you can plug in the secret tunnel covers.
Can I? Can I, Connor?
The like 14 million power connectors.
529,600 minutes. So I will now.
Am I still in frame? Yeah, I'm still in frame. Perfect.
This is always awkward part because I have to like.
Huh?
I changed frame.
Okay. Am I still in frame?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. That
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
there,
question.
Oh yeah, there, bud.
Everybody's.
Everyone's in frame.
I might not be super in frame.
And just kind of.
Well, I'm trying to show you. You don't really want to see me.
The like massive chunk. Of
Unless you're a female age 22 to 27.
Then fill out a top plate. Fill out a contact form.
Fill out the,
top plate.
fill out the contact form. Ask for Chris to forward it to Andrew. We'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business. Trust me, there's no 22 to 27-year-old females watching this, Chris.
It's like 4% overall.
Did you see that Linus Media Group hired Madison from the she was in ROG Rig Reboot.
No.
You don't remember that one?
No, I saw the whole thing where it was like, oh, she's back, and then
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
was, but I didn't know where it was from.
Yeah, they've hired her. That was a really good video just because she like matched his energy so well.
Fair.
Yeah, that's a big old card there.
It's a very big video.
I can't see it. I just see the back of the computer, so I'm just trusting that
You'll
it's a big
notice
card.
I'm kind of holding the card up a little bit while I'm screwing it in,
Yeah.
so that I make sure it's the actual screws holding the weight of the card and not the PCI Express slot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good note for heavy cards.
Yep.
Because these slots are metal reinforced, but you don't want to rely
Is this one
on
being
that.
shipped? Okay.
Was that a yes or no?
That was a yes.
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, it's not that far. Almost heaven. Thank you.
You're just knocking things over. Nice. Very
I should have
nice.
done this before.
Would
I took out 3 slot covers because I was like, oh, it's a 3 slot card. But the bracket's only 2 slots, so I'm trying to put the other slot cover back in.
Yeah, that would actually be helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. There we go. Got it.
Perfect.
Yeah, screw it.
I'm just trusting that Andrew knows what he's doing.
I mean,
I can
hope
see. So we have our cameras, one there and then one's over there. That's Andrew's. They're both the same camera, and they both have little screens that flip around. So I can see maybe about that screen is about yay big, and it's probably 10-ish feet away from me. So I can kind of see it, but it just looks like a giant black box for me.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Get some power.
I actually really am curious on what this card looks like when it turns on.
Me too. I haven't seen one of these in person.
Nor have I. That's why I was.
I've probably
excited.
seen one on YouTube. Don't really remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've tuned out a lot of 3000 series content even now. Like, if I can't buy it, I don't care. Honestly.
I mean, that's very
That's-
fair.
Like, if you go back and look at the release videos for these cards, like, even now, when people make a video just about these cards, it has a lot of downvotes. which is from people who are like angry that you can't get them. It's like, why are you making this video about how great this product is when you can't buy the product?
Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer because
I
it's
won't
not
condone.
the fault of the content creator, because they're just trying to, you know, make a fun video, but
They're trying to do their job, but
yeah,
like, you know,
we have lots of good
there's somewhat of a
stickers.
point going there. This last one's gonna be. Sometimes these +2 don't want to stick with the
Yeah.
connector.
And then your hands start to hurt because there's sharp corners and it's cold in here.
Yeah,
Not complaining by any means.
And because of all these cables, I'm gonna give it a quick cable tie or two.
Yep. And now I'm going to jump on over and stand in front of where that camera is because I'm curious what this looks like when it turns on.
I'll probably do some further
EVGA.
after, but for now I'm just gonna tie that guy off. Oh, my nose is running.
This computer is just big. Big cooler, big graphics card.
Yeah.
Tiny case.
Is that the right one? Yeah. Out.
We can do the final cable management on the back after.
Yeah. Should I pull through it a little bit? Yeah, it's fine. So, how's that angle for the camera?
That works.
Alright, I'm gonna grab a power cable. Off.
Oh. Ooh, interesting.
Okay, it's pretty like a nice spread.
It's actually very well diffused.
Yeah, diffuse. That's the word I was looking for.
I like it.
Can't really see any postcodes from where I am, but
I can see them.
I assume they're cycling.
Yep, they're cycling.
Yeah.
They're cycling.
Me,
Oh.
me too, Gary.
It'll probably take a few cycles.
Here, hold on. Now you can actually see the RGB a little bit better.
Oh yeah. How's those postcodes looking? Oh, I can see a bit of top, kind of.
I can see. Here, hold on. Back
Oh,
up.
it just cycled again.
That was a boot. Bottom right is a boot.
Yeah, unicorn rainbow vomit. Of course, fully customizable in EVGA's software.
As well as you can turn it
Which
off
is-
too, which is what some people fail
Yeah.
to recognize with
Because-
RGB is it doesn't have to be on.
Yeah, theirs is called EVGA Precision X in case Gary or anyone else wants to use it. But yeah, I think that'll be it for us tonight. This has been Battle Chassis. So if you guys liked this build, check out our YouTube channel.
Sorry.
You don't need to see me. So if you guys like this build, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see this and future ones, as well as go back and watch older ones. Check out our website, topflightpc.com, where you can see all the specs and fill out a contact form to contact us about getting one of your own. Follow us on Facebook, Top Flight Computers, and
Soon to be Twitch.
yeah, soon to be Twitch, coming soon.
And on that bombshell,
All right, have a good evening.
goodbye.